Hey, so you've been looking at LPT Realty, right? And maybe you've seen the videos. You've heard about no monthly fees, the listing power packs, the revenue share, and you're wondering, all right, is this really as good as it sounds? Well, before you hit that join button, we've got to talk, all right? Because there are a few things that you need to know, and frankly, some that might sound bad at first at least, but are actually what make LPT one of the smartest moves you can make in real estate right now. But it doesn't mean that it's the perfect fit for every single agent. So when you listen to this, understand that, hey, some of these things might actually be a reason that you wouldn't join LPT. And rather than trying to manipulate everything to make it fit perfectly, I'm just here to tell you the truth. Now, again, I love LPT. There's a ton of reasons why I'm here, but I want to break these down. And the last couple really are just all upside, but it's stuff that people don't really know about. Now, before we jump into that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, right? I do this for a couple reasons. One, to educate agents. Two, I didn't find the information that I needed in a way that made sense for me to do it. When I first got to LPT, it took me a while, a couple meetings with people to really wrap my head around it. And then now that I've been here almost 2 years, I really starting to understand it at a better level. And so I found that, not that much information was out there. There's plenty of other videos that are just like, hey, let me go through line items, not so much like really thinking through it and putting yourself in the scenario of a team leader, a top producer, an independent broker, right? All those different things. So that's why I started the channel. So your subscription matters a lot. Also, this video specifically, like, share, comment on it. Maybe you want to share this with other people that are considering moving to LPT with you. I also do this for sponsorship. All right. There's no doubt in my mind, and there's no big secret that revenue share is a thing at most cloud-based brokerages. It absolutely is at LPT. It's something that I'm very passionate about, and one of the reasons why I continue to be the most consistent YouTuber for LPT Realty by far. Plenty of other people put out videos. I love them. A lot of them are my really good friends, but I'm sticking with it for the next 5, 10, as long as it takes. And one of the reasons why is because I want to sponsor more agents. I want to partner with people just like you. And if you already know somebody at LPT and you're thinking about working with them, that's okay. You can actually name both of us. So either way, comment, like, share, definitely subscribe. Now, let's break down what I think are the 7 things not too many people really think about or maybe even hear about before joining LPT Realty. All right, so number 1, no monthly fees. Well, that's kind of a sort of. All right, so let's start with that big one. It's known LPT for saying no monthly fees, and that's true, but it's not the whole story. Because yes, let me get this out of the way. You can absolutely join LPT with no monthly required fees. No sign-up fee, no monthly fee. Big selling point for a lot of people. You'll get your cap, your stock options, your revenue share, right? Your listing power pack, all of that. But if you actually want to access some of the next level tools, you will want to actually pay a monthly fee. It's actually something called LPT Plus. It's funny because when they first rolled it out and we started looking at it, the thing that hit me, and I actually heard someone else say it, so I'm borrowing it, I forget who it was, but they said, I never knew I couldn't live without a monthly fee. LPT Plus. It gives you predictive seller leads from SmartZip, cash offer tools from Zoodealio, lead nurture with Real Scout, AM cards for appreciation marketing, healthcare and identity protection, weekly masterminds, coaching, Zoom Enterprise, continuing education, right? The list is really there. Even a way to participate in done for you listing marketing that you only pay for at closing. All right, now all of that is actually included for either $89 or $149 a month. It really depends on what comp plan you choose, because remember, you have 2 choices. You have agent choice at LPT, which is you can choose to be the business builder plan, which is $500 per transaction capped at $5,000, or you can be on the brokerage partner plan, which is 80-20 split capped at $15,000. They both have their benefits, right? There's a reason that someone would join at a $15,000 cap and an 80-20 split, and there's a reason why they wouldn't. And so I break that down in other videos, not really the purpose of this video, but the point is, depending on which plan you pick, your LPT Plus benefits package varies in price. Now, here's the twist, I guess, kind of the way you want to look at it, right? Is that at LPT, it's optional. You choose if you want to pay for it. Everywhere else you go, You pay the monthly fee whether or not you use those tools. Here, you get agent choice. So yeah, no monthly fees. That's technically true. But if you like saving time, getting opportunity like leads, having better tools, you'll probably want to pay that monthly fee. So that's the thing. Everywhere else you go, oh, okay, I guess I got to pay this monthly fee. And they're like, oh, but you get these things. And sometimes those things are great. Let's be real. And sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're things that you would absolutely pay for out of pocket anyway. And so great, it's cool that you have a monthly fee. The difference is you don't have the choice. At LPT, you get to look at LPT Plus and go, oh man, like for example, we did this. We were already using Zoodelio. We were already using Real Scout. Those two things alone we were already paying more for those two systems, actually just for Zoodelio alone, than we were paying for LPT Plus. So, super easy decision. But again, the choice was ours to make. We got to look at the list of benefits and go, does this or does this not make sense? Everywhere else you go, whether it makes sense or not, you're paying it. All right, so that's number one. Is it free in terms of no monthly fees? Yeah, sure. But that may not actually be where you end up. You might actually end up with a monthly fee, but again, it's your choice and it's based on real value. All right, number two, you can actually be really selfish. All right, and I say that kind of like tongue in cheek, right? Because it's your brand that actually matters. So talking about branding at LPT, your brand comes first. They literally design their logo to sit quietly at the end of yours. All right, their brand supports yours. It doesn't compete with it. You want your colors? Great. You want them purple? You want them camo? Great. Use those colors. Your logo front and center? Awesome. Do it. Right, as long as it's compliant with your state. Your brand name on everything? Go for it. They built LPT to actually elevate your brand, not overshadow it. All right. They're the partner behind the curtain, not the spotlight hog. And that's not true of all brokerages. Right? That's why so many agents love it. I mean, and team leaders, right? And especially people that are brokers, they're like, I don't want to lose my identity. I don't want to lose my brand. Cool. You finally get to look and sound like you again, right? Under the banner of a nationwide brokerage that's giving you so many benefits, all the marketing tools, right? Pre-IPO stock, the ability to earn revenue share, right? Access to some of the best high quality training imaginable. And like I said, marketing. All right, especially around listings. And we'll talk about that in just a second. All right, number three, you actually have to sell real estate. Now, this one's super important, okay? If you thought joining LPT meant you could just recruit a few people and chill, you might want to sit down for a second and rethink this. All right, this is where you might turn and go, okay, LPT is not for me because I'm only interested in revenue share and I don't actually want to sell real estate and I'm not super engaged with that stuff. Okay, stick around because that might mean LPT is not the option for you. I'm just being transparent. All right, yes, there's absolutely revenue share. Yes, it's powerful, but it's not a lottery ticket. All right, you earn when you and your people produce. And frankly, that's a breath of fresh air. That's how it should be. You actually have to sell houses, build relationships, and create real estate business. Okay? And honestly, that, in my opinion, is what keeps the culture sharp. It rewards producers, not passengers. I'm not going to call out other brokerages by name, but there's other brokerages where you can just be an influencer. There's other ones where they've figured out a way where even if you don't have a real estate license, they'll pay you revenue share for helping you grow. And what that does is that limits the incentive for the people actually paying into the system by way of selling real estate. Let's be real. Most people are not going to be focused on revenue share. They're not going to be building up these big revenue share downlines, nor should they care about that if their main focus is selling real estate to put food on the table, to build the wealth that they're looking for. All right. So rewarding productive agents is a massive thing. As a matter of fact, I remember hearing Robert Palmer tell somebody, hey, I don't care who you are. If you're ever going to be on a stage in my brokerage, it's going to be about production, not about how big your downline is. That's important to me. I've seen the other brokerages. I've been inside some of these brokerages where the revenue share monsters actually are the ones pulling all the levers. And I don't call them monsters like they're bad people. They're actually some of the best people are out there. I know some of them personally, some great friends, amazing people. But the point is monsters in terms of the size, the revenue share that they control. And, they have a lot of influence. So they can kind of pull those levers a lot more than producers. Not at LPT. It's producer first. All right, number 4, there's no broker breathing down your neck. That's kind of the way I wrote it. Again, a little tongue in cheek, but you're not going to get the random 8 a.m. messages asking, if you uploaded your buyer contract. LPT is virtual first, right? Which means you have freedom. Okay, you've got live support inside LPT Connect. You've got compliance, you've got leadership, you've got masterminds, local groups, but no one's micromanaging your every move. If you're independent, driven, and you just want to build your business without being babysat, this is your kind of place. It's on demand, not demanding support. All right, it's freedom with support, not control disguised as help, because I've seen that. They figured out a really great ticketing system for support. It's very responsive, but it's not oppressive. Yeah, sometimes it feels like that at other places, right? Been in a brokerage before as well, where it's just like, man, the broker just won't give me a break. They're always double checking everything and quadruple, forcing me to do these things that maybe they feel really comfortable with. I'll actually give a real life example. There is a way to legally wholesale real estate as a licensed real estate agent in California. It's possible. I had a broker at another brokerage that was like, no, you can't do it. And it was simply because they didn't really understand it and they didn't want to take the time to understand it and the minimal risk involved. They didn't trust me. They didn't, instead of saying, hey, let me train you to make sure you're doing it right. Let me verify that you understand how this works and how you can do it in a compliant way. They just said, no, we don't do that here. Thought I was an independent contractor. Thought I had a license for this. I know that there's a legal way to do this. I digress. Number 5. This is something really important. Some brokerages make solo agents feel like second-class citizens. Not here at LPT, okay? You don't need a big team. You don't need a team at all to win here, all right? At LPT, solo agents win big. It's actually a huge, huge piece. Now, don't get me wrong. I run a team. I have a team. I want you to join my team. But the point is, solo agents here don't feel left out. I've heard this time and time again. Other brokerages, they cater to teams. Like I've heard CEOs of another cloud-based brokerage that's really prevalent, right? They're one of the big ones, the big one, literally told a buddy of ours, like, hey, I built this brokerage for team leaders to win. Okay, what about the solo agents? What about the agents on the team? Solo agents, you at LPT get access to the same tools, same marketing, same systems, same stock and revenue share as any team leader would. Okay? And with the business builder plan, it's just $500 per deal, capped at $5,000 for the year. That means you can run lean if that's what you want, keep your profits high, and still access enterprise level systems and get that support. So whether you're a solo hustler or you're growing a team, you're on equal footing. Okay? Now, number 6. Now, like I said, these next 2 things, they're really just kind of all upside, but your listings look like a real marketing agency did them. Okay, so when we talk about listings, this is where LPT really shines. I mean, think about it. Listing power tools. That's what LPT stands for, in case you didn't know. It's not just some random letters or somebody's, initials. Okay, every listing. This is just the start, by the way. But every listing, it's a power pack, a listing power pack. That's a box full of professionally designed materials. We're talking flyers, door hangers, mailers, social media graphics, and more. And it's your own listing marketing kit delivered to your door. But what gets better is that there's some done for you options. But going back to the box, the other thing is this. It gets delivered to your door. All you do is pay shipping. You don't pay the $400, $500, $600 it would normally cost to get that much marketing material printed, let alone designed. All right, let's forget that it was even had to be designed for you too. If you're designing and then sending it off to a printer and then getting it shipped to you, we're talking $500, $600, $700, right? That's not even including the time of confirming the proofs and all that stuff. This stuff saves you time from not having to do all that and money. All right, the marketing is specifically geared to psychologically win. What I mean by that is when you're going in your presentation and you're using the digital and physical marketing tools and the way that they teach you how to use them, you are getting a psychological advantage inside that listing presentation. So think about this. Your brokerage is designing marketing tools as the main thing that they do. Again, this was a marketing company first to help you win more listings. Okay, you're going to go there and you're going to beat the other agents based on using these tools the way that they taught. And I'm telling you, it's actually true, completely valid. I took one to a listing presentation a couple months back just to make sure, like, hey, what is our regular listing presentation that we've developed over years, and bits and pieces from top people, and we really believe in it and it actually really works. What if I just went and did the box? What if I just practiced the way LPT taught me and then used the box? I'm going to be honest, I was very angry because it worked. And I feel like I've wasted a lot of time and energy not doing that and building it out my own way, like reinventing the wheel. If you've ever felt like that, like, you got to check out the Listing Power Pack. I actually have a video on my YouTube channel, on this channel, right, breaking down all the details inside the Listing Power Pack and how we use them in presentations. You got to go check that one out. All right, so anyways, the point is that when you are seeing that kit, you're not just winning the listing, but then you're also able to sell it faster and turn that listing into more business by getting more buyers and, more importantly, getting more listings. Like I said, it does get better because if you want, like I said in the LPT Plus benefits package, you can take on the done for you option. LPT has a listing marketing service that covers your photography, sign installation, your open house power pack, all for $500, and it's paid at closing. So if it doesn't sell, you just pay like $200 to cover the cost. That's really unheard of, right? Because if you lose out on the listing and it doesn't sell, they're actually taking a bigger loss than even you are as the listing agent. All right, it's really like having a full marketing team behind you without the overhead. All right, without the contracts or without all the stress. Okay, if you focus on listings, this is where LPT becomes the game changer. Now, lastly, one thing I think is incredibly important. Again, there's no like misconception around this. It's just not known very well. Your voice actually matters here. One of my favorite parts about LPT, agents actually have a say in what happens. I've seen it. All right, I've been part of it. There's an agent advisory council that's not just fluff. They work directly with leadership to influence programs, fees, and benefits. All right, we are even talking about like a personality assessment that we created for our team, and LPT was like, hey, can we take a look at that? We were thinking about building one, and we worked alongside with them to help start building this out. The leadership actually listens. They come to us and go, hey, we want to hear from you. All right, when something changes here, it's usually because agents asked for it. All right, not because somebody in their ivory tower just thought it was a good idea. Your feedback, our feedback, my feedback doesn't disappear into the void. It becomes policy. And that's really rare in this industry. So the question is, should you join LPT? Let's be real. Yes, there is a monthly fee if you want all the extras. No, you're not going to get rich overnight from recruiting. Yes, you still have to sell homes. And no, no one's going to micromanage you. But what you do get is powerful. You get choice. You get freedom. You get tools that actually work. All right. Other brokerages are like, check out my really cool, check processing software, or, AI that's built into it that writes your property descriptions as though you don't already have ChatGPT open on your other tab. No, you get real marketing tools that actually turn heads. You get stuff that's going to actually help you tangible assets that help you actually sell real estate. And you get to build a brand that's 100% yours. Now, if that sounds like the kind of brokerage you've been waiting for, it might be time to take a serious look at LPT. All right, if you want to see exactly how LPT would fit in your business, here's what you got to do. Go into the description below. Book a quick one-on-one call with me. I'll walk you through the plans, through the options, the math, everything, tell you straight up if it makes sense for you. If it does, great. We'll get you plugged in and winning fast. If not, I'll tell you that too. Either way, you're going to end up leaving that call with the clarity that you need. So tap that link, like this video, subscribe for more real estate breakdowns, and drop a comment or let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in the next one. And until then, go list something.